something new, which is the use of AI in science research. And now you can use AI to enhance your productivity as a scientist, be it a PhD student, an undergraduate, or a postgraduate student. Here on my channel, I try to bring in tips and give you insight into what can help your productivity as a scientist. So today we are going to be focused on a new topic, which is the use of ChatGPT for different scientific endeavors. I'm sure a number of you have been using ChatGPT for quite a while, and it's commonly used everywhere these days. And people are using them for different things, from home chores to finding, doing normal Google search and the likes. But there are certain ways you should use ChatGPT, and today I'm going to go over certain frameworks that can help you to prompt your ChatGPT to give you optimum results and enhance your research productivity. We're going to use five structured prompt styles, which are quite common in almost all scientific endeavors. But you can use them to do your research here, and they will give you the best kind of result that you can anticipate for, or you can expect. So today we're going to look at ChatGPT prompting frameworks for research, and you probably have seen this somewhere where people write something like Grok prompt framework. You see quite a number of those online, and where people have showing you different styles of prompting AI tools. Let's go to images, and we are going to see quite a number of them. There's this one on X with RTF tag Bab K and Rice. How to master prompt framework, different ones: Coast, Rice, Trace, Rossis. Five advanced Grok for four prompt frameworks: Race, Idea, Smart, Quest, Keep, and so many of them. But I found these five framework. I find them quite useful. So the first one that we'll be looking at is what I call the RTF framework, which simply translates to role, task, and format, which means you have to allow the AI to assume a role, and then you give it a task, and then you use a format to do that. You follow it up with a format. Then we're going to learn the second one. We're going to learn is what I call tag framework, which is task, action, and then goal. So you give it a task, you lay out an action, and you set a goal for it to achieve. So if we go to ChatGPT now, and then there's before we go to ChatGPT, there's also BAB, which is before, after, bridge, and there's care, context, action, result, and the last one is RISE, which is role, input, and steps and expectations. And we are going to use all of those framework in ChatGPT. So let's go to ChatGPT. For example, let's start with the first one, where it is the task, and then the format. So if, for example, you ask act, which means a role, it has to act as a geologist, and then act as a geologist first, and then create a research proposal on the, for example, application of let's say remote sensing and quantum or something very new, or digital twins in mapping hydrocarbon seepages. Remember, it's going to act. The R is for the role, and it acts first. So if you prompt that, and then you want a proposal to be created, and that is the task, and then you want it to be formatted. So let the proposal include a background, method, expected outcomes, and potential industry applications. Remember, it's generative AI, so the spelling doesn't really matter, so it can correct itself. So yeah, and then we allow it to do the prompt. Now the prompt is about acting as a geologist, and then writing a research proposal on the application of remote sensing and digital twins. So if you look on now, you see now integration of remote sensing and digital twin technologies for enhanced detection and mapping of hydrocarbon seepages. It has done a background to that, which is usually expected to be, and then it has also provided a methodology, which is your responsibility to check and see how correct that it is. And then it has provided some expected outcomes and potential industrial applications, like in exploration, risk reduction, and then and a conclusion. Okay, that is RTF for you. We can also try a tag, which is the next one. So we can say, for example, tag is the task, conduct a comprehensive review of digital twins, right? Make sure to summarize the findings into key tech advancements, and then because it's a goal, we can say, for example, deliver actionable insights to inform future research projects. And then that's going to be a very comprehensive review of digital twin technology. It's a dynamic visual representation of a physical, the key advancement, and so on and so forth. And you can actually turn this into an infographics. So if you want to turn that into an infographics, such that you can see how the technology evolved with time. Now we can use the barb also. We can use the barb, which is before and then after bridge. In which case, let's go to the barb using the barb concept. So let's say you assume. Okay, you can just say our current methods in predicting earthquakes, right? Rely on old data, right? That is before. We want to achieve, for example, high accuracy in earthquake prediction. So we need to develop a step by step research strategy using AI. So it means strategy strategy using AI. So this is the BA, which is before, and then after, and then the bridge that we want to do. So we can do that, and we get a very good result for that. So to achieve that, step one, prediction, objective, and parameters. Collect and curate multi-source data. Okay, so that is updating the old data collection method, and then also develop and train AI models. Okay, actionable insights and tools to perform that. And then it's also going to ask for suggestions. Would you like this turned into a research proposal, grant application, technical roadmap document? Let's say we want grant application to EU, for example, or EU or 2020, if there's something like that. And then it's going to develop that into a grant application, which you have to read, and also you have to edit that. Okay, and it has also identified a relevant call for that. So, and also give it a name. So you have to verify that yourself. It's your duty to verify what the AI is giving you. Now let's go to the next one, which is care. Care is a context, action, result, and example. Okay, we can develop something more interesting by saying the study area, which is the context, is Nigeria, shows lack of seismic activities. By seismic activities, we mean tremors, earthquakes, and so on and so forth. Design a plan combining geophysics with satellite mapping. That's the action, so the care, to find high priority danger zones, for example. Yeah, you can use example from the San Andres, which is quite known for such kind of events. So what we've done here is danger zone. You can use example from there, and then we can use that as care framework, and then that's going to provide a very strategic plan, integrated geophysics and satellite mapping plan. And there's a background to that of what Nigeria is about. The study area is to detect hidden or dormant fault zones, which is normal, yeah, for earthquakes. Identify zones with subsurface stress accumulation, and there is a plan for that. And then, yeah, that looks quite promising, isn't it? And then it has done a bit of a comparison with so if you're thinking about the fault system like the San Andreas, you can compare that to the Ifa, Wara, Senguri share zone in Nigeria, and then some kind of similarities between them. And lastly, let's use the last one, which is RISE. RISE is simply the role, input, steps, and expectations. So again, we can go back to being a geologist. As a geologist, right? As a geologist, or let's this time around as a biologist, specializing in climate change. Like I said, the spelling doesn't really matter, it's AI. Use satellite map to develop a research workflow to assess, let's say, the ecological changes in marine mammals, for example, if there's something like that in biology, in the last 20 years along the Lagos Lagoon. And then what we have done there is that we created a role. We have also input by use satellite map to develop a research workflow. And then we have also set the steps to assess the steps in the last 20 years. And maybe in the last 20 years, relative to maybe something like sea level rise, and coastal changes, and then we have now given expectation along the Lagos Lagoon. So we expect this to be a scientific high impact academic report. That's the expectation, and then it's going to do that. Assessing ecological impact of relative sea level rise and coastal change of marine mammals in the Lagos Lagoon 2004 to 2024, a remote sensing and ecological modeling approach, right? So it has developed an abstract, so you have to check that. So I'm not an expert in marine mammals, so what we see here is small crustaceans, right, such as the Atlantic humpback dolphin, manatees are some of the mammals identified here, and the workflow is using Landsat Sentinel MODIS, sea level and bathymetric analysis to do that. Okay, so so this is a good way to get to enhance your prompt and the research productivity. Once again, you can use RTF, which is you create a role, you create a task, you create a format. You can use TAG, which is task, action, and goal. You can curate a BAB, which is a before scenario and after scenario, and a bridge between those two. You can use a context and action result and with an example to support that. That's a care framework. The last one is you can use RISE, which is create a role, make an input, create steps, and then some kind of expectations. So we do this because when you use this framework, it structure complex ideas into AI-friendly prompts. So the AI doesn't really struggle giving you accurate result or near accurate result. It also helps your writing, especially proposals and theses, and can enhance the clarity of your work, make them reproducible. They can be reproduced by other people, and lessen your scientific rigor as a scientist. So the bonus tips here are very simple. When you combine all this framework, they give you better prompts, and then you can iterate, change the framework, add tone, for example, make it a professional, academic, high impact. All those little variations will enhance your prompt, and then you can iterate it several times. And then you can use prompt to draft literature reviews, methods, and also use them to make funding arguments. So I think you should try this out and let me know if this works for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share this, and then we look forward to more videos in the coming days. Thank you. Bye.